Judges of the Allahabad High Court, Professor Amarpal Singh, Vice Chancellor of Ram Manohar Lohia National University, all the members of the faculty, proud parents, and most importantly, the stars of today's events, dear graduates. I'm delighted to be present here today at the convocation ceremony of the Dr. Ram Manohar Lohia National Law University, a significant occasion marking a return after 9 years. It is my third visit to this university. On the last two occasions, I came in the capacity of the Chief Justice of the Allahabad High Court. I'm also coming back to the city of Lucknow in an official capacity after 8 years, though I came here 2 years ago in a very personal capacity. Coming to the convocation ceremony has given me a chance to reconnect with my colleagues at the Allahabad High Court. In my journey as a judge over the last 24 years, I continue to cherish the time I spent at Allahabad and Lucknow. I said to my colleagues last evening that working here for nearly 3 years gave me an understanding of the heart and soul of the country that Uttar Pradesh is. I have experienced the legendary and gracious hospitality or the Mehman Nawazi of this beautiful city of Lucknow ever since I landed yesterday. I am thus inspired to be true to Lucknow's artistic and literary spirit and try my hand at reciting some poetry. And what I want to recite to you reads as follows. जो अब्र यहाँ से उठेगा वो सारे जहां पर बरसेगा. जो अब्र यहाँ से उठेगा वो सारे जहां से बरसेगा. हर जू ए रवां पर बरसेगा. हर कोई एक गिरा पर बरसेगा. In other words, the clouds that arise from here, and we are seeing those clouds outside today, shall rain upon the entire world, upon every flowing stream, and upon every mountain of the world. These lines by the legendary Lucknow poet Asrarul Haq Majaz, also known as the Keats of Urdu poetry, eloquently capture the futures that beckon each of you as graduates of a leading law university in the nation. On this momentous day, over 2,000 students from the BA, LLB, LLM and PhD programs are receiving their hard-earned degrees. The ceremony acknowledges the academic excellence and dedication of these bright minds and stands as a testament to the university's commitment to nurturing future leaders of the nation. This convocation ceremony is also like a reunion for the university. It has brought together graduates who have walked through the corridors of this institution from 2011 to the present. For the older batches, this is an opportunity to return and reminisce about your days at the university. More importantly, it is a chance to take a step back and reflect on the values that this institution has taught you. For the more recent batches, this is of course an occasion to bid a bittersweet farewell while drawing inspiration from your accomplished seniors and future colleagues at the bar. University education is a formative period in an individual's life during which you establish your core values and sense of social and political consciousness. This development is not solely derived from your classes, textbooks, and academic pursuits, but most often from interaction with your peers who belong to varied backgrounds, come from different regions, and have been brought up with diverse family values. The lived experiences of the friends you have made, the debates you have engaged in the college canteen, and the challenges you faced have together shaped your perspectives. In fact, the purpose behind education, particularly at institutions with residential campuses, such as national law universities, is to bring together students from diverse social backgrounds and train them to be empathetic, citizen-centric leaders. A student who has spent the entire childhood in a sheltered home in a metropolitan city now shares residential spaces, meals, and daily struggles with someone from a different socio-economic background. In this back and forth of values, experiences, and a constant challenging of one's own assumptions, each one of you develops a social consciousness that is yours, but not yours alone. Your ideas of justice do not become mere abstractions or concepts that you have absorbed through books. Instead, it becomes deeply personal and rooted in friendship, authenticity, and a broad-based perspective of Indian social life. I am reminded of the famous poem by Robert Frost titled The Road Not Taken. The poet reflects on the difficulty of making choices, something you, as students and young professionals, are deeply familiar with. Frost describes two paths. One path which is well-worn, well-traveled, frequently traveled, and the other path, the grassy track and less trodden. This metaphor resonates with the choices you have faced, to follow a conventional career path or take the road less traveled. I am proud to say that graduates of RML NLU have consistently striven towards careers in public service instead of opting for lucrative jobs at corporate law firms. This is evident in the choice of a large number of students from the Ram Manohar Lohia National Law University to pursue a career in the judiciary, in the judicial service. As the Honorable Chief Minister mentioned, when we were standing there on the dais with so many of the young graduates, I was so amazed to learn that so many of them have now taken to the Indian judiciary. So many of them are young women. In fact, a graduate of RML NLU worked in my chambers as a judicial law clerk in 2017 and is now serving as a deputy registrar at the Supreme Court of India. Before clerking with me as a judge of the Supreme Court, he was an intern in my office. After having completed his clerkship, he went on to do his postgraduate degree at Harvard Law School and has now returned to give back to the Indian judiciary. I have witnessed with great admiration the dedication with which he has made a difference to our court and strategically advocated for the causes he believes in. Frost's concluding lines capture the essence of such choices. Two roads diverged in a wood, in a forest, and I took the one less traveled by, and that has made all the difference. Your education at RML NLU has provided you with a strong foundation, but it is your willingness to evolve and your ability to embrace change that will truly define your success. As Virginia Woolf famously wrote, a self that goes on changing is a self that goes on living. The essence of life is change. Whether you look at it in a biological sense, whether you look at it in a legal sense, or whether you look at it in a spiritual sense. Remember, the law is not a static field. It evolves with society, reflecting its changes and addressing new challenges. As judges, with our grey hair, we too continue to change and evolve, even when we are perhaps almost double your age. My companion judges and I were once tied to traditional modes of adjudication, relying on bulky paper files. Every Sunday and Thursday, in anticipation for the Monday reading and Friday reading, my staff in the office would carry 80 to 100 files on their shoulders. However, courts today have embraced technology to increase access to justice and bring litigants closer to the courtroom. I run a completely digital and paperless court. Similarly, we stay abreast of evolving areas of law that have significantly changed since our days as law students and lawyers, including issues involving artificial intelligence and technology-related disputes. To remain true to our role as guardians of our transformative Constitution, we continue to learn and unlearn to keep up with the ever-evolving social values. On today's occasion, I also wanted to share my thoughts on something that I have been thinking about for some time now. How can we make law and legal education accessible to millions of Indian citizens? हमारा देश विविधताओं का देश है, चाहे भाषा के आधार पर हो या फिर क्षेत्र के आधार पर। उत्तर प्रदेश में ही अलग अलग बोलियां हैं, डायलेक्ट्स हैं। जहां लखनऊ में हिंदुस्तानी सुनने को मिल जाती है, वही पूर्वी उत्तर प्रदेश में भोजपुरी भाषा का असर और प्रभाव है। ऐसी स्थिति में मेरे मन में यह सवाल उठता है कि न्याय और संविधान के मूल्यों को जन जन तक कैसे पहुंचाया जाए। कानून क्षेत्र में अंग्रेजी भाषा पर जोर दिया जाता है। सुप्रीम कोर्ट और हाई कोर्ट के मामलों की सुनवाई अंग्रेजी भाषा में होती है। एक तरफ जहां जज और वकील अंग्रेजी भाषा को जानते हैं या जानने की कोशिश करते हैं, कई बार ऐसा होता है कि अपना केस लेकर आए आम नागरिक में यह समझ ही नहीं है कि कोर्ट में क्या बहस हो रही है। भारत के मुख्य न्यायाधीश के रूप में मैंने ऐसे कई निर्देश दिए हैं, स्कीम्स अपनाई हैं, जिससे न्याय की प्रक्रिया को आम लोगों के लिए आसान बनाया जा सके। उदाहरण के तौर पर सुप्रीम कोर्ट द्वारा अंग्रेजी में दिए गए निर्णयों का भारत के संविधान में प्रचलित विभिन्न भाषाओं में अनुवाद किया जा रहा है, जिससे आम जनता भी समझ सके कि निर्णयों में आखिर लिखा क्या गया है। आज 1950 से लेकर 2024 तक सर्वोच्च न्यायालय के 37,000 निर्णय हैं, रिपोर्टेड जजमेंट्स हैं। सारे 37,000 जजमेंट्स का हिंदी में अनुवाद हो गया है और ये सेवा सब नागरिकों के लिए मुफ्त सेवा है, डिजिटल एससीआर के रूप में। तो मैं आपको आग्रह करूंगा कि इसका आप जरूर उपयोग कीजिए, और ताकि आपकी बहस ना ही ज्यादा इफेक्टिव रहो, प्रभावशाली रहे, पर जो आपके पीछे क्लाइंट बैठा है, नागरिक बैठे हैं, उनको समझ में तो आ जाए कि आप क्या बहस कर रहे हैं। इसी तरह मैं यह अक्सर अपने सहयोगियों एवं देश के तमाम